You got KFC, mijo.
This drum and thigh combo is only $6.
Good deal.
For you. But you bring nothing home for your abuelita.
You okay?
No.
Hurry, this $6 deal ends soon.
At Marshall's, our buyers search far and wide for the best deals on the brands you love. They also search near and narrow. But people don't really say that. We get the deals, you get the good stuff. Marshall's.
Laundry Truce, the bargain jug. That's a huge jug of detergent.
Yeah, isn't it a bargain?
You know that bargain detergent is 85% water, right?
Really?
It's this much water.
So I'm just paying for watery soap.
That's why I use Tide Pods. They're super concentrated, so
I'm paying for clean, not water.
bingo. Don't pay for water, pay for clean. It's gotta be Tide Pods.
You're supplying your daughter with drugs?
She wanted to try it.
My mother used to give me drugs. I'm calling Child Protective Services. Are you kidding me? People are calling you a hero.
The lieutenant governor is here, and she's requested you.
I'll be right there.
You left the OR before the surgery was finished? She should have been your priority.
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Lupita Nyong'o. NBC Tonight.
Check your cameras. Trust only the best. Protect your family, home, or business with 24/7 armed response. Remember, AmeriGuards it.
Lithia Subaru of Fresno proudly supports tonight's first segment of local news that matters. Lithia Subaru of Fresno. Subaru. Confidence in motion. Local news that matters. This is KC24 News at 11.
Obviously, rainfall mixed with that speed is definitely a recipe for disaster.
Rain, cold weather, speed make for a potentially dangerous combination on our local roads. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Barugian.
And I'm Alexander Balakey. And new tonight, it's been months since drivers have had to deal with wet and slick roads. The CHP tonight saying with it being the first rain of the fall season, they're making sure to have every available patrol officer in the surrounding areas. We do have live team coverage tonight. Chief Meteorologist A.J. Fox on where that storm is now heading. But we want to begin with our Catherine Phillips on how the CHP is keeping these drivers safe. Catherine.
Yeah, there were some intersections that were out earlier in the day. They say they're having every available officer who can be out on patrol. And with wet weather expected again tomorrow, they want drivers to stay alert. With wet roads across the valley and a winter storm warning up in the Sierra Nevada, Fresno County CHP officer Mike Salas says drivers need to stay prepared on the roads.
Obviously, rainfall mixed with that speed is definitely a recipe for disaster.
Salas says during Tuesday's rain, they had every officer available out on patrol, making sure they could help drivers in need and to make sure people are driving safely for the conditions. He says on rainy days, getting rear-ended or rear-ending the car ahead of you is a huge concern, as slick roads give drivers less time to stop.
People are traveling just a little bit too fast. They're not used to the rainfall. And with this first rainfall that we're having, we're getting a lot of the debris that's getting washed up, including oil, some of the vegetation out there that gets spilled off the trucks. So we just want to remind everyone, speed is always the worst factor out there, so slow it down.
He says in the higher elevations, drivers need to make sure they have the required chains on their tires. He says their officers are preparing as well.
We do have our CHP officers that work the mountain areas on standby, as well as Caltrans. We work in partnership with them just to make sure that all of the equipment is ready to clear those roadways with the anticipation of that snowfall.
And it's not just the rain. Many stoplights across Fresno lost power, like this one on Peach, giving drivers another reason to limit distractions and slow down behind the wheel. Now, at one point, Officer Salas says that there was a high wind advisory near I-5. But he says other than that, officers maintained a very busy schedule tonight, keeping the roads safe. Live in Fresno, Catherine Phillips, KC24, local news that matters.
Thanks, Catherine. I'm Chief Meteorologist A.J. Fox, and you may be disappointed with the numbers as far as rainfall is concerned on the valley floor, unless you're from Merced. In Merced, they were leading the way, 3,500ths or 3,400ths, I should say, of an inch of rain. 1,500ths is all in Madera, 1,300ths in Fresno, and less than a tenth for Visalia and Porterville, and Hanford and Lemoore showing up with goose eggs today. Live radar is now pretty clear across the valley and into the mountains. We got a couple of dots over the mountain areas, and that's it. But things are calming down right now. We're not done with the storm system just yet. The winter storm warning lasts until 11 p.m. tomorrow night. And so we've got another wave of moisture that we're going to have to deal with. We'll get to that in a minute. 52 is where we are now in Fresno. Same in Hanford, 47 in Madera, 51 in Visalia. And looking at our valley count on the north side of town, we're looking at pretty clear traffic right now, but still kind of slick roads, even though the rain has quit in the city of Fresno. Now, tomorrow, we will have isolated showers, mainly in the afternoon and the evening hours. 59 will be the high. Partially having to deal with maybe some morning fog on Thursday morning, and then a very chilly morning. We're talking about low 40s and upper 30s in some valley spots on Friday, but our afternoon high will get back into the lower 60s. There's more rain in the forecast even beyond these 3 days. I'll give you those details coming up in just a few minutes. Stephanie, back to you.
All right, thanks, AJ. And PG&E crews in Fresno were busy tonight working on transformer fires due to the rain. This is video from the area of McKinley and Thesta near San Joaquin Memorial High School. We've had power outages all over the city tonight. Since we haven't had rain in a while, those transformers are often coated with dust, which turns into mud, and that can damage the electrical equipment. And Fresno police say a power outage was a factor in a crash that sent a car into the front yard of a home tonight. This is at Chestnut and Tulare Avenues. That happened just before 9. Police say the stoplights at the intersection were not working due to a power outage. 2 cars collided at the intersection. 2 people in the car in the yard were taken to the hospital. No word now on their conditions.
Meantime, local farmers embracing the wet weather. A majority of growers say they'll take as much water as they can get, especially since allocations have been cut dramatically this year amid record drought.
There really hasn't been any federal water that's come our way at all. There's no surface water that's coming this way, and we've been stuck having to rely on our groundwater resources.
Farmers hopeful that any rain that falls will translate into a healthy water pack that will mean a plentiful water supply when it's needed the most. And the Bay Area getting hit pretty hard early this morning, including a hailstorm that whipped through parts of San Francisco and San Jose. The National Weather Service predicted as much as ½ an inch of rain up north and close to an inch along the coast. The first person in Fresno County to be charged with murder for fentanyl distribution pleads not guilty today. The district attorney's office filing charges against 21-year-old Cassidy Gonzalez last month. Today, Gonzalez entered her not guilty plea to those charges. She was arrested on October 13th. She will return to court November 29th. The DA, Lisa Smitkamp, says during a 9-month investigation, they found sufficient evidence to charge Gonzalez with first-degree murder of 41-year-old Jade Drythe. Well, Fresno police hoping to prevent accidental deaths or injuries to kids who get their hands on guns that are not properly locked up.
The department providing hundreds of free gun locks to Valley Children's Hospital today. KC24's Ben Morris tells us why these locks can be vital to your family's safety.
Firearm injury is the leading cause of death in U.S. children and teens. Tragedy seen everywhere, including in Fresno, when last June, 3-year-old Bryson Vang died after finding his father's gun and accidentally shooting himself. The following day, an 8-year-old boy, also in Fresno, hospitalized after shooting himself in the hand. Now, the Fresno Police Department is continuing its pledge to cut down on incidents by providing 300 gun locks to Valley Children's Hospital.
We'd rather just prevent all that altogether. And I think the best way of doing that is just through education, prevention, and also distributing these gun locks.
It's all part of the department's partnership with Valley Children's Hospital and Project Child Safe, a nationwide program providing free gun locks and firearm education resources. I spoke to the trauma nurse liaison and Safe Kids Central California coordinator for Valley Children's about the importance of the program.
The second that they start to get mobile, they explore. That's their job. And so we want to make sure that the home is a safe place for them to be able to explore, to play, and to do all of the things that kids are supposed to do.
And locking your guns is as easy as could be. Simply remove the magazine or any ammo in the gun and feed the lock through the chamber or upper receiver and out the other side. Then just lock, and the gun cannot go off. And this type of lock will work on any gun.
Public safety is not a political thing. You know, keeping children safe should not be political. It should be common sense.
Ben Morris, KC 24, local news that matters.
In a story we aired last night, we incorrectly reported that a car involved in a deadly crash on Jensen and 99 in Fresno was stolen. The car was not stolen. The 55-year-old woman driving was the owner of that car. We want to send our deepest apologies to the family for our error.
If your child collected piles of candy trick-or-treating last night, they could be turning it in for some quick cash. The Willow Dental Group paying top dollar for leftover Halloween candy. The candy buyback serves two purposes. It helps kids avoid cavities, and the candy that's purchased will go to first responders and military personnel. The kids who can take part by also writing letters of appreciation to the people who will be receiving the treats.
So we're asking the community to bring us their leftover candy, and we will give them cash for candy, $2 a pound, up to 5 pounds, or $10.
This is happening at Herndon and Willow in Fresno, and the buyback runs from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. through this Friday.
Still to come here at 11, potentially saving young lives this winter season.
So this is a major triumph for women and their babies.
A disease putting kids at risk across the country. Tonight, new hope for an RSV vaccine.
And using the Day of the Dead to honor pets that have passed on. A unique memorial at a local animal center.
Well, your weather headlines for tonight. The first real rain was today for the mountains. We are still under our winter storm warning, even though we're kind of in a break right now. The cold air is now moving in, and the snow level will dip down to 5,000 feet. I will also remind you about standard time coming back this weekend. Your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Moz Allergy. That'll stay in the low range into the weekend. Elm and juniper, the predominant pollens. And since we're dealing with the first real rain of the season, let's take another look at one of our valley cams. This is down in Tulare, and you can see the wind is still blowing. You can see the flags there on the left side of your screen. I'll have your complete forecast as KC 24 News continues.
Wildfire smoke threatens your health, whether you're on the front lines or in your front yard. Prop 30 helps prevent wildfires and reduce toxic smoke, so we all have cleaner air to breathe. Yes, on Prop 30.
I'm waking up my day, so let's get it started. Turn it up, turn it on, keep the morning moving right along. Yeah, I'm waking up my day, you make it feel alright. I'm waking up my day, waking up my day. Don't you know I'm ready for whatever comes my way? I'm waking up my day.
The 2022 Subaru Crosstrek is as powerful as your sense of adventure. Its 182 horsepower Subaru Boxer engine makes exploring fun. Sure-footed symmetrical all-wheel drive is standard. And the Crosstrek has the best resale value in its class for 2 years running. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Get to Subaru at Fresno, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Hey everyone, tonight we have an all-new show. Lupita Nyong'o will be here. Weird Al Yankovic will be joining us. Plus we have Cameron Crowe and a performance from Broadway's Almost Famous. It is a great show tonight.
New Fallon on NBC.
For Rudy Salas, it's a charmed life. Paid the highest legislative salary in the nation, even as Californians pay the highest gas prices. Given over $80,000 in free gifts and trips. Some were financed by groups pushing a bill that could raise gas prices 73 cents a gallon higher. Salas backed their bill, selling you out. They paid his way, we paid the price. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this ad.
Celebrating our men and women of service. The Veterans Motorcycle Run, November 5th.
California has the worst air pollution in the country. It's fueling a health crisis that's getting worse. Prop 30 will combat wildfires and reduce tailpipe emissions so Californians have clean air to breathe. Yes, on 30.
Now, AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox with your local weather authority forecast.
I know everyone was excited about having the rain today, but temperature-wise, it's actually a fairly normal early November kind of day. 69 was our high, morning low was 49, just 1 or 2 degrees off of average. The rainfall amounts, now this is the official report from 5:30 when they redo the report at midnight. It won't say 0 for Fresno, where normal is 200ths. It'll say the new total for today, which was 1300ths of an inch of rain. So they're still already behind for the season, which started October 1st, but we'll take what we can get right now, right? Look at Merced, 3400ths of an inch of rain there. That's a good amount. But for the temperatures currently, 40s to lower 50s. We're at 52 in Fresno, Visalia 51, 52 in Hanford, 47 in Madera. This is time-lapse photography from our camera on top of our building. We saw the rain between 5 and 7, and then just as the sun was going down, the clouds started to break, and we got a beautiful sunset that happened just as it was perfect timing tonight. Beautiful to look at that as the storm was leaving us. The sun was also leaving us behind, too. This is a live view of Kauai Health down in Visalia. You can see that our skies are still clear, and there's no rain that's happening there right now, but there's still wind. This is our Valley Cam in Tulare right at the outlet center, and you can see the breezes not as strong as earlier, but they're still there. You can always gauge that by looking at the flags. Live radar, nice and clear out there with a couple of dots over the mountain areas, and that's it. Flurries at best. The whole system kind of pulled through and has left us behind, but there's still more to be had. It looks like it's going to be coming in with all of the cold air. Do you see all of these little broken little bits of rain? That's the indication of cold air, and as it moves through, according to Futurecast, we're going to see not only the showers for us on the valley floor, but we're looking at the snow for the mountain areas. So we still have our winter storm warning that's in effect. In fact, it got extended down into Tulare County. It had been just restricted on the south side to Fresno County area. We're looking at our solar forecast for the next few days. Their numbers are going to be okay. In fact, the energy savings still in excess of 100%. That's pretty good. Looking at our forecast tonight, we'll call it partial clearing. 46 will be the overnight low. The rain is taking a break, but tomorrow the showers come back, especially in the afternoon. A high of only 59 degrees, northwest wind at 10 miles per hour. So over the next 7 days, watch out for the patches of morning fog on Thursday. That's our best bet. The air will be a little bit too dry for fog on Friday and Saturday. Don't forget to change your clocks on Sunday, and you might, because we'll be excited for more rain and we'll lose focus. So temperatures are going to drop back down to 59 when we have another best chance at rain on Monday. And then don't forget to vote on Tuesday. A lot of things going on the last 3 days of that extended forecast.
Yeah.
Your regional forecasts are available on our website at yourcentralvalley.com, so please go check them out there.
I was going to say, nice to see the rain, and when you wake up, the smell of the rain.
Oh.
Yeah, you really notice that.
Brisk air, everything. I love fall. It's my favorite season.
Now we just need to see those leaves change color.
Right, they will. Eventually, they must. All these things happen, yeah.
All right, to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, Valley Animal Center is honoring the memories of pets that have passed on. The center posted photos of pets along with notes from their owners with favorite memories. About 30 pets were honored today, along with a number of pets that had spent their lives inside the shelter.
All right, time to see what's coming up next in sports.
And for that, we send things over to Scott Bemis. Hey, Scott.
Guys, the Valley's still buzzing about that great comeback by the Bulldogs Saturday. We'll hear from one of the Dogs' unsung heroes that night. And a Central Valley product once again shining on baseball's biggest stage. That's next in Sports Central.
Many places full of history mark the Valley. Join me as I take you on a tour of the people and places that made history right here in our backyard. This week, the story of a town christened with an orange soda bottle on the map. Thursdays at 6 on Ksee 24.
I'm David Valadeo, and I approve this message.
Rudy Salas didn't show up for work almost 450 times, but he did show up to increase the price of gas by 73 cents a gallon and backed reckless spending that made inflation worse. And if Rudy Salas gets to Congress, he'll be a rubber stamp for Biden and Pelosi's agenda, selling out the Central Valley, turning his back on us. Because Rudy Salas is a politician who only looks out for himself.
You know what I love about November? The chill of the air, the warmth of the fire, the unforgettable smell of cold, hard cash. It's November to remember at Tachi Palace. Every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Premier Club members that rack up over 100 points can win up to $5,000 in cash and prizes. So this fall, make it a November to remember. See Premier Club for more details. Only at Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore.
Families are struggling, and David Valadeo is making things worse. Valadeo voted against capping insulin prices, refused COVID relief for families, but his family business took thousands, even opposed raising the minimum wage. David Valadeo, out for himself, but Rudy Salas is putting the Valley first. Salas got overtime pay for farm workers and stood up to drug companies to lower insulin costs. Rudy Salas, lowering costs, standing with us. DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
With violent crime in our communities and the cost of gas, food, and medicine rising, we need a leader in the assembly that we can trust to fight for us, not a quitter like Mark Pazin. While murders in Merced County hit an all-time high, Mark shamefully abandoned his post as sheriff, quitting in the middle of a gang crisis to take a fancy Sacramento political gig. We can't trust a politician like Mark Pazin, who already turned his back on us. The stakes are too high.
Let's fill up on the truth. Rudy Salas is the only Democrat who voted against the gas tax increase. Salas voted against increasing the gas tax. That's the truth. Meanwhile, David Valadeo's helping big oil jack up prices at the pump. Just this summer, voting against cracking down on oil company price gouging. And Valadeo's taken over $450,000 from the oil and gas industry. Fed up when you fill up? Thank David Valadeo. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
The Valley's Armenia. The mission returns November 16th on Ksee 24.
Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
A Central Valley product is shining on baseball's biggest stage. Former Liberty High School Hawk and Fresno City Ram Connor Brogdon is a middle reliever for the Phillies and got in Game 2 of the World Series on Saturday, throwing an inning of scoreless relief. What about Game 3, Tuesday night in Philly? Well, Bryce Harper giving the Phils an early lead with this shot, a 2-run bomb off Lance McCullers. That would be the first of 5 homers hit by the Phils, tying a World Series record. It was 7-0 in the 6th when Brogdon makes his second appearance of the Fall Classic. After a leadoff single, he would retire 3 straight former Fresno Grizzlies, Jordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Kyle Tucker. The Phillies win 7-0. They're up 2-1 in the series now. The section football playoffs start later this week, but the Central Section volleyball playoffs already in full swing. And in Division I, Clovis West downing top-seeded Clovis East in straight sets Tuesday night. They're going to face Liberty out of Bakersfield in the final. And in D2, Central Valley Christian took down Centennial out of Bakersfield in 4 sets. They're going to visit top-seeded Buchanan for the title Thursday. So here's a look at all the Central Section Championship matchups set for Thursday in girls volleyball. In D1, Clovis West looking for a 3rd straight Central Section title. And in D3, Kingsburg has a chance to take home some section hardware. Division 4 has Hanford visiting Fresno Christian. And in D5, Minarets will play for a title against 5th-seeded Washington Union. It was ugly Sunday in New Orleans for the 2-5 Raiders, as they didn't cross midfield until their final possession of the game in a 24-0 loss to the Saints. Now, the Raiders are spending this week in Florida getting ready for Sunday's game at Jacksonville, which I'm guessing won't include a lot of time looking at the tape from the Saints game.
You know, let's learn from it. Let's be honest with one another. Let's be open to the positive corrections we can make. And then, you know what? Let's bury the tape.
Yeah, bury that thing quickly. You know, McDaniels reportedly had a lengthy post-game meeting with Raiders owner Mark Davis after the loss Sunday. Finally, the Valley's still buzzing about Fresno State's improbable comeback win over San Diego State on Saturday. And that comeback included a couple unsung heroes. How about freshman kicker Dylan Lynch from Bakersfield with that perfect onside kick? And then there was the game-sealing interception there from Carlton Johnson, who was playing in his first game as a Bulldog. Yeah, Carlton was playing in his first game because he actually injured his foot over the summer when he dropped a weight on it. By the way, if you want more on the heroes of that final minute Saturday, check out Andrew Martin's story on the sports section of YourCentralValley.com. The news continues after the break.
Now, are Big Macs really shrinking, or are my hands getting bigger?
Whoa, easy, big guy. Look, a big Carl.
Thank goodness.
Bite into a bigger, beefier burger. The Big Carl, only at Carl's Jr.
How to change the way you pizza. Step 1, grab a delicious Papa Murphy's pizza. Step 2, bake. Step 3, chow down on the deliciousness. Order the fan favorite cowboy pizza right now at papamurphys.com.
We know Rudy Salas. In Sacramento, we paid him over $1 million, and he skipped over 400 votes. When Rudy did show up, he voted for a new tax on prescription drugs that would have drained money from the most vulnerable. Worse, we pay the highest gas prices in the nation, and Rudy voted to stick us with even higher gas prices. Rudy Salas has failed the Central Valley. Rudy Salas is not for us. NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Adam Gray, and I approve this message. John Duarte doesn't live here and hasn't done a thing to lower gas prices. I voted to stop the tax on diesel for tractors and trucks, and I wrote the bill to suspend the gas tax. I took on Sacramento to protect our water and our jobs. That's why Valley sheriffs and local newspapers support me. I'm the independent Democrat for Congress.
Prop 29 is all about politics and not about patient care at all.
One special interest, SEIU-UHW, is pushing yet another dangerous dialysis proposition that threatens the lives of 80,000 dialysis patients.
The same special interests are picking on dialysis year after year.
If I could tell special interests one thing.
Please stop.
Enough is enough. Please leave our dialysis patients alone.
Please protect us.
Vote no on 29.
We have big news.
Really big.
Turns out the Big Mac isn't actually that big, unlike the really big Carl, which is...
How juicy.
Hey, we're live.
It's just you and me, baby.
I'm uncomfortable.
Bite into a really big burger. The really big Carl, only at Carl's Jr.
Now YourCentralValley.com pros who know.
By using third-party financing with competitive programs, your new smile can be affordable and easy. Call Better Life today to see if you qualify.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know. This is Ksee 24 News at 11.
There's some new hope for parents and hospitals overwhelmed by children sick with RSV. An experimental vaccine is showing promise.
And it comes as pharmacies sound the alarm over a shortage of critical antibiotic heading into the winter months. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez reports.
The search for an RSV vaccine has taken decades, but tonight Pfizer says new data for its experimental shot, given to pregnant women early in the third trimester, was 69% effective in preventing severe respiratory illnesses in newborns in their first 6 months of life. The company says it's even more effective in the first 3 months.
It's a real breakthrough. I would say that people have been searching for a vaccine for nearly 6 decades, at least 5, without success. So this is a major triumph for women and their babies.
Pfizer's data has not yet been peer-reviewed. The company says it plans to apply for vaccine approval before the end of this year, but shots in arms may not come until next winter.
It's extremely frustrating.
Irene Aaron in Baltimore knows the stakes. 2 of her children with RSV have gone to the hospital in the past few weeks.
I think the toughest part is not being able to do much, but just kind of wait and let it run its course.
As more hospitals brace for a triple threat of RSV, the flu, and new COVID variants this winter, Orange County, California has just declared a health emergency. And another concern is emerging. Across the U.S., some pharmacies are reporting shortages of one of the most widely used antibiotics, liquid amoxicillin. It's commonly prescribed to treat ear infections, pneumonia, and bronchitis in children.
It's concerning because it's happening at a time of the year where the demand is increasing.
Gabe Gutierrez reporting there. Coming up, an important space launch in Florida.
Liftoff.
A massive SpaceX rocket blasts off with classified payload. A look at the space spectacle next.
As a student athlete, my time at Fresno State did a lot more than prepare me for a career in football. My academic education prepared me for success after football. Fresno State doesn't receive enough funding from California to be all it can be for this valley. Measure E will help our university modernize, grow, and deliver a world-class education to students right here. Please join Fresno State's team and vote yes on Measure E.
Politician Adam Gray. You pay his salary, but he skips work. Skipped over 150 votes. Didn't even vote to stop the gas tax. When he does show up, his votes make things worse. Gray voted for a multi-million-dollar tax on dairy farmers, a $3 million tax on grape growers, and a massive tax increase on livestock feed. Adam Gray. We're better off without him. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
To protect Valley families, State Senator Melissa Hurtado took on her own party, fighting against the early release of violent criminals. She's working across party lines to increase funding for local law enforcement and crack down on human traffickers. Now, as the Valley faces a fentanyl crisis, Hurtado is working to prevent overdoses and save lives. Endorsed by California's police chiefs and first responders, State Senator Melissa Hurtado. She's all Valley.
Your vote, the very foundation of our republic. A power wielded on Main Street, your street, where you vote. That's where News Nation lives, reporting from communities large and small, with journalists who live there, your neighbors, covering the issues which, on a Tuesday night in November, will decide what comes next in the greatest nation in the world.
I'm Jim Costa, and I approve this message.
Across America, the Supreme Court has taken away women's constitutionally protected right to reproductive freedom. Michael Maher's position, the same. Maher is supported by extreme groups who want to outlaw woman's choice, even in cases of rape, incest, and health. Maybe that's why Maher pledged his loyalty to Donald Trump, whose judges overturned Roe v. Wade. Michael Maher, too extreme for us.
I was denied my Social Security disability claim, even though I can't work.
I'm so frustrated dealing with the government, and the last thing I want is some faceless lawyer on the phone.
I want personal attention. Someone experienced
who knows our local legal system
and will fight for me.
When you can't work, the law offices of Robert Ishikawa will fight to get you Social Security disability benefits. Call 559-432-9600. Social Security disability is all we do.
3, 2, 1, 0, liftoff.
That never gets old. SpaceX launching the first Falcon Heavy mission in over 3 years. A towering rocket that is the most powerful currently in operation. The launch happened this morning at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket carrying a classified mission for the U.S. Space Force. Its most recent launch was the Space Test Program 2 mission back in June of 2019.
Always impressive to see that. What was not so impressive, however, are rainfall totals today.
Yeah, a little disappointing, but, you know, you got to start somewhere, I suppose. And we're going to get some more tomorrow, it looks like. Not as widespread, not as fast, and so, but just be on the lookout for the occasional shower and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, but still more snow to be had for the mountain areas, too. We got a winter storm warning that'll expire tomorrow night. Then several dry days, cool mornings, too. And don't forget to change your clocks this weekend. We're going to fall back Saturday night. You get an extra hour of sleep.
All right.
I'll be everyone's friend this time.
Yeah, we love that.
You're always our friend, AJ.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.